The uneasy encounter. The human walked cautiously through the alien corridors, his boots echoing softly against the metallic floor. Strange lights flickered on the walls, casting moving shadows that made the place feel alive. He could hear a low hum of energy, a vibration in the air that made his skin tingle. Something about this place was not normal, and yet he could not turn back. Ahead, a figure appeared stepping from the shadows. Her form was tall and graceful, unlike anything he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered faintly like silver under the dim lights, and her long hair floated slightly. As if weightless, her eyes, wide and violet, fixed on him with an intensity that made his chest tighten. "Why are your eyes always on me, human?" she asked sharply, her voice melodic but commanding. She tilted her head, curiosity and frustration mixed in her gaze. "Do you not know that it is rude to stare?" The human swallowed, trying to control his racing heart. I was just looking," he said carefully, his voice low and cautious. "Looking," she repeated, stepping closer, her violet eyes never leaving him. "Explain, human. Your intentions are unclear." She studied him with a strange mixture of suspicion and fascination. "Something he had never felt before. I mean no harm," he said quickly. "I want to understand your people, your world. I mean only to learn." His words were honest, and he hoped they would be enough. She circled him slowly, each movement smooth and precise. "Curiosity can be dangerous for humans," she said softly, almost to herself. Then she stopped and placed a hand lightly on a nearby console, her gaze still on him. "Yet I sense honesty in you, and that is rare." Suddenly an alarm blared, red lights flashing across the walls. He tensed, unsure if danger was near, but she remained calm, her eyes scanning the controls with ease. "They will notice you soon," she whispered, almost amused. "This encounter will not be simple." The human felt a pull toward her, a mix of fear and fascination. He had never met anyone like her, and yet he could not stop looking. "Why do you stare at me so, human?" she asked again, stepping closer, her voice lowering, almost a whisper. Her question felt personal now. Heavy with meaning, he opened his mouth to answer, but his words felt trapped, caught somewhere between fear and curiosity. The silence stretched between them, tense and heavy. She tilted her head, studying him as if she could see inside his thoughts. "You are not afraid?" she asked, her voice probing gently. I am cautious," he admitted honestly. "But I also feel drawn to you." His words were simple, but they carried his confusion and fascination. She regarded him in silence for a moment, then laughed softly, the sound echoing strangely in the metallic chamber. "Human, you are different from the others." The hum of the machines grew louder, vibrating through the floor and walls. He could feel the energy in the room shift. Something was coming. He could sense it, yet he could not move. Frozen under the power of her gaze, her hand lifted, brushing the air near his shoulder without touching him, and a strange warmth spread through him. "Do not assume you understand me, human," she said finally, stepping back slightly. "This is only the beginning. Every look, every movement will have meaning." She turned toward a doorway deeper in the complex. "Follow me if you wish to learn, or stay and wonder what might have been." The human hesitated, his heart racing, his mind full of questions. He knew stepping forward would change everything. That this encounter was no accident. He swallowed hard, then moved after her, stepping into a world that would challenge everything he knew about life and the universe. As he followed, he could feel her eyes on him. Always watching, always questioning, always testing. He did not know what lay ahead, but he knew one thing for certain. This was only the first step of a journey that would change him forever. The alien test. The human followed the alien woman deeper into the complex, the corridors twisting like the inside of some living creature. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls, pulsing softly with energy. He felt the weight of countless eyes on him. Though no one else was visible, she moved with purpose, every step precise yet graceful. "Do you understand what it means to follow me, human?" she asked without looking back. Her voice was calm, but carried a sharp edge, as if a single misstep could be disastrous. I think so," he replied, careful with every word. "I am here to learn, to understand, not to harm." His voice echoed slightly in the long corridor, blending with the hum of alien machinery. She stopped suddenly, turning to face him, her violet eyes scanning him like a predator. "Curiosity is not enough," she said. "You must prove your worth, human. Or leave now." Before he could answer, a wall in front of them slid open silently, revealing a wide chamber. its floor glowing with strange patterns. The air shimmered as if the gravity itself was different here. He felt his chest tighten, a mix of awe and fear. "Step carefully," she warned, gesturing toward the floor. "This is more than a test of strength or skill, human. It is a test of mind, courage, and understanding." She did not wait for him to respond, instead stepping onto the glowing path herself, her movements confident, as if she had done this countless times. He hesitated, then followed, each step lighting up a new section of the floor. The patterns shifted beneath his feet, forming shapes and symbols he did not recognize. His heart raced, unsure what would happen if he misstepped. "You see, human," she said softly, "every choice has meaning. Every hesitation is noticed. The universe watches even in ways you cannot imagine." Her words were cryptic, but he could feel their weight, each syllable carrying power and authority. A sudden vibration shook the chamber, and the walls projected strange holograms, showing glimpses of distant stars, alien landscapes, and battles he could not fully comprehend. "Focus," she said. "You must understand the pattern, not just the path." He squinted, trying to follow the shapes, feeling a strange connection to them. His mind raced, but slowly he began to see a rhythm, a logic hidden in the chaos. "I think I understand," he whispered. Moving more confidently, she smiled faintly, a hint of approval in her eyes. "Good, human. You are learning faster than I expected, but understanding is not enough." She gestured to the far end of the chamber, where a door had opened, revealing a new section, darker, colder, and more mysterious. He felt a shiver run down his spine, but he knew he had to continue. "I am ready," he said. Though uncertainty trembled in his voice, she nodded slightly. "Courage alone will not save you, human. You must also see beyond fear." As they advanced, the floor beneath them changed again, creating floating platforms over a glowing abyss. Each step required precision and trust, not only in himself but also in her guidance. His hand shook slightly, but he focused, watching her every movement. "Do you trust me, human?" she asked suddenly, her eyes piercing his as if she could see his very thoughts. I trust you," he said without hesitation, though inside, his mind screamed with doubts and questions. She studied him silently for a moment, then nodded, the faintest smile playing on her lips. "Then continue, human. This is only the first part of the trial, and already you have shown more than most of your kind." The chamber seemed to shift around them, the hologram spinning faster, the air thick with energy. He felt as though the very fabric of the alien world was testing him, bending reality to see what he was made of, and through it all her eyes never left him, watching, judging, guiding. He realized then that this was not just a physical trial, but a test of character, of perception, and perhaps something deeper he could not yet name. With a deep breath, he took another step forward, ready to face whatever came next. The path ahead was uncertain, dangerous, and thrilling, and he knew that the choices he made now would shape everything to come. Secrets of the chamber. The human's boots echoed softly as he followed the alien woman through the shifting corridors. The air grew colder, carrying a faint scent of ozone and something else he could not name. He felt a strange tension in the atmosphere, as if the walls themselves were alive, watching, waiting. She moved silently, her eyes scanning the darkness with ease. "This chamber holds more than tests of skill or courage. Human," she said, her voice calm yet edged with authority. "It reveals truth, hidden desires, and fears you may not yet admit even to yourself." He swallowed, unsure if he wanted to see what was coming. The thought of hidden truths made his chest tighten, but curiosity forced him onward. I want to understand," he said quietly, his voice barely above the hum of alien energy. As they entered the main chamber, he gasped. The room was vast, walls lined with glowing panels showing strange constellations, swirling galaxies and unfamiliar star systems. Floating in the center was a holographic orb, its surface shifting with symbols that seemed alive, pulsating with knowledge and power. "Be careful," she warned, gesturing toward the orb. "It will show you things, human, things that may change how you see the universe, or yourself." He nodded, taking a tentative step closer, feeling a pull toward the orb as if it called to him. Images flashed within the orb, humans in distant battles, alien civilizations rising and falling, creatures he could not comprehend. Yet the most surprising visions were of himself, standing in strange places, making choices he had never made, and seeing outcomes he could not explain. "What is this?" he asked, his voice trembling. How does it know?" She studied him quietly, her violet eyes gleaming in the dim light. It reflects the mind of the observer. Human, your fears, your desires, your potential, all of it is laid bare for those who dare to look. He felt a wave of unease, realizing how vulnerable he was. Yet at the same time there was a strange thrill, as if the chamber itself were giving him a chance to see the world in a way no human had before. "Do not be afraid," she said softly, sensing his hesitation. "Fear will only cloud your understanding. Embrace what you see, and you may learn more than you imagined possible." He closed his eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath, then opened them again, focusing on the shifting symbols and images. Slowly he began to notice patterns, connections between the galaxies, the alien civilizations, and even himself. It was as if the chamber was teaching him, guiding him, revealing secrets he had never known. She moved closer, her hand hovering near his shoulder, not touching. Yet he felt warmth and reassurance. "You are learning faster than most humans," she said, her voice soft but commanding. "But there is still much you do not see, much you must understand before the trial ends." Suddenly, a series of lights flared across the chamber, projecting a new set of images. He saw a group of aliens chained and struggling, their eyes wide with fear, and in the corner of the vision, a human figure watching silently, unsure whether to act or stay hidden. He felt a pang of recognition, though he did not know why. The scene seemed familiar yet alien, distant yet connected to him. "Who are they?" he whispered, his heart racing. She turned to him, her expression serious. "They are part of what you must learn. Human. The choices you will make, the understanding you gain here, may one day affect beings like them, perhaps even your own fate." The chamber seemed to pulse with energy, images spinning faster, the air vibrating around them. He realized then that this was more than a test or a lesson. It was a glimpse into the vast web of life and consequence that spanned the stars. Her eyes met his, steady and unwavering. "Remember this. Human, every glance, every decision, every hesitation matters in this chamber, and in the universe beyond, nothing is wasted. Nothing is unseen." He nodded, feeling the weight of her words, knowing that the trial was far from over, and that the truths he would discover here could change him forever. And as he stepped closer to the glowing orb, he felt the alien woman's eyes on him, always watching, always guiding, yet always questioning. The hidden challenge. The human's heart raced as he followed the alien woman deeper into the glowing chamber. Each step felt heavier, as if the air itself resisted him. Strange shadows danced across the walls, shapes he could not understand, moving as though alive. She paused suddenly, turning to face him, her violet eyes gleaming with a mixture of curiosity and authority. "You have done well to reach this point, human," she said softly. "But the true challenge begins now." He swallowed, feeling a shiver run down his spine. What challenge?" he asked, his voice steady despite the fear curling in his stomach. She smiled faintly, almost imperceptibly. "This is not a test of strength, not of speed or skill. It is a test of choice, and only the brave can succeed." She stepped aside, revealing a new section of the chamber, darker, filled with floating platforms suspended over a glowing abyss. The platforms were uneven, some moving slowly, some spinning lightly. He felt the weight of the unknown pressing down on him. Every step would need caution, focus, and trust. He hesitated, looking at her. I can do this," he said, though uncertainty lingered. "Do you trust yourself, human?" she asked, her voice soft but piercing. "Do you trust that your mind can guide your body where others would fail?" He nodded, taking a deep breath, then stepped onto the first floating platform. It tilted slightly under his weight but held firm. His heart thumped loudly in his chest, each beat echoing in the strange, humming chamber. She followed him smoothly, her movements fluid, confident yet never touching, as if guiding him with presence alone. "Focus on the path, human," she said. "Do not think beyond the step you take, only then will you survive the challenge." The platforms shifted, some moving faster, others tilting unpredictably. He stumbled once, catching himself just in time. Fear gnawing at his mind, she did not speak, only watched, her eyes like mirrors reflecting his every thought. Suddenly, the glowing abyss below pulsed, and shadows rose, forming shapes that seemed to reach for him. Twisting and writhing like living darkness, he froze, unsure if they were illusions or something real. "You must not fear what you cannot control," she said calmly, stepping onto the next platform, her presence steady and reassuring. Face it, human, and move forward, or you will fall into doubt and hesitation. He clenched his fists, forcing his eyes away from the shadows, focusing on the platforms ahead, one step, then another, each movement more confident than the last. He realized that the fear itself was part of the challenge, and by facing it he gained strength. A sudden gust of energy swept through the chamber, pushing him slightly. Yet he held his ground, stepping carefully. He reached the final platform, the abyss below glowing brighter. Yet he did not look down, only forward to her. To the way ahead, she nodded slightly, approval in her violet eyes. Well done, human. You have passed the first part of the hidden challenge. But understand this, the greatest trials are not always seen. The mind can betray and the heart can falter, he exhaled, relief mingling with adrenaline. I understand, he said, though inside he felt the pull of anticipation, knowing that the next challenge would be even greater. She extended her hand toward him, not touching. Yet he felt warmth and reassurance. Come, human, the chamber has more to reveal. More lessons to teach. You are ready to see what most would never survive. As he followed, the chamber seemed to shift around them, the shadows stretching and twisting, the platforms dissolving behind them, and through it all her eyes never left him. Always watching, always testing, always guiding. He realized then that the alien woman was not only his guide, but also the key to understanding the chamber itself. Every glance, every gesture carried meaning, and he would have to stay alert to survive what lay ahead. The truth revealed. The human stepped cautiously into the next chamber, his heart still racing from the platform challenge. The air here was warmer, yet heavy with the strange energy that pressed against his chest. Strange lights danced across the walls, forming patterns that seemed to shift and change as he moved. The alien woman stopped at the center, her eyes fixed on him, violet and unreadable. This chamber, human, reveals truth. Not illusion, she said, her voice calm but carrying weight. It shows what you hide from yourself and what you are willing to face. He looked around, his gaze falling on a pool of shimmering liquid at the center of the room. The surface reflected his own face, but not as he knew it. His eyes were sharper, his expression tense, and behind him, shadows moved that should not have been there. What is this? He whispered, stepping closer. Drawn by the reflection, it is the mirror of the mind. Human, she said, stepping beside him yet keeping her distance. Here, you will see not only who you are, but who you could become, and what choices may define you. As he peered into the pool, visions began to form. First small, simple moments. Him helping others, saving a life, then darker images. Failure, loss, fear, and regret. Each scene played vividly, and he felt every emotion as if it were happening in the present. She watched him silently, her presence steady, guiding, yet never intervening. Do not turn away, human. The truth may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary, he swallowed, trying to keep his courage. I see myself differently, he admitted, voice trembling. I see what I fear, and what I hope to be. Good, she said softly. Most humans cannot face themselves. They run from fear, from doubt, from what they do not understand, yet you have come this far, and you continue forward. The liquid shimmered again, showing another image, a human standing before a chained alien, eyes wide with hesitation, the world around them in chaos. He felt a sudden pang of recognition, a strange connection to the figure. That is me, he asked, stunned. Yes, she said, her eyes locking onto his. And soon, you may face choices like this, where every action matters, where hesitation can cost more than you imagine. The chamber has shown you what is hidden, but soon, you must act on it. He felt a mixture of fear and determination, understanding that this was more than a trial. It was a preparation, teaching him to see beyond himself, to consider consequences beyond immediate thought. She stepped closer, her gaze intense. Human, the final part of this chamber is not a puzzle, nor a platform, nor a reflection. It is a decision, one that will define your path with me and perhaps beyond this world. He nodded slowly, realizing the weight of her words. I am ready, he said, though uncertainty lingered, the unknown stretching before him like a vast galaxy. The chamber walls shifted suddenly, opening into a larger hall, filled with strange lights and figures in the distance. All seemed to wait, silent, watching as if expecting him to move first. Step forward, human, she said, her voice soft but commanding. Face what is real, not what you imagine. Decide what is right, not what is safe, and understand. Your choices here may echo farther than you know. He took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of energy beneath the floor, the hum of the lights around him, and the steady gaze of the alien woman, guiding yet challenging. He stepped into the center of the hall, ready to confront the truth and whatever lay ahead. And as he did, he could feel her eyes on him, always questioning, always watching, yet for the first time, he understood that her presence was not just observation, but a test, a guide, and perhaps a companion for the path that awaited. The final trial. The human stepped into the vast hall, his heart pounding in his chest. The alien woman followed silently, her violet eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. The walls pulsed with energy, casting moving shadows that seemed to whisper, his every step echoing in the strange chamber. "This is the final trial, human," she said softly. Yet her voice carried power that made him stop and listen. Here every thought, every instinct, and every choice will be tested. There is no turning back now. He swallowed, looking around the hall, noticing floating platforms, swirling lights, and distant figures that seemed both real and illusions. I understand, he said. Though fear twisted his stomach, she nodded slightly, then gestured to a glowing pedestal at the center. Upon it rested two objects, mysterious, each radiating energy different yet connected. You must choose, human, one path or another. Each will define what comes next. Choose wisely, for hesitation will have consequences. He stepped closer, unsure which to pick, his mind racing with questions. Could one choice be better than the other? Was there a right answer? He felt a presence around him, as if the chamber itself were alive, waiting for him to act. "Do you understand what this choice means?" she asked, stepping beside him, her gaze unwavering. "It is not just about what you see, human, but what you believe, what you value, and how you act when nothing else guides you." He closed his eyes, taking a deep breath, trying to quiet the swirling thoughts in his mind. Images of the trials he had faced came back. The floating platforms, the holographic visions, the reflections of himself. Each step, each decision had led him here, and now he had to trust his instincts. Finally, he reached out, his hand trembling, and touched one of the objects. A surge of energy ran through him, illuminating the hall with dazzling light. The figures and platforms shifted and vanished, replaced by a vast view of stars, galaxies, and worlds beyond imagination. The alien woman watched him silently, her eyes softening slightly. "You have chosen, human, and in doing so, you have shown courage, insight, and understanding. The trial was not about the object, but about your mind, your heart, and the willingness to act," he exhaled, feeling a strange mix of relief and exhilaration. I did it?" he asked, unsure if his choice was right or wrong. "Yes," she said softly. "For there is no absolute right or wrong here. Only the choice you make with honesty and intent. That is what defines you, and what will guide your path beyond this chamber." Suddenly, the hall shifted again, walls dissolving into a field of stars, and he felt weightless, as if floating in the universe itself. She stepped beside him, her hand brushing his shoulder lightly, sending warmth through him. "Do you see, human? This is the world beyond your own. The consequences of your choices extend farther than you imagine, and you have proven yourself ready." He looked at her, awe and gratitude mixing with lingering fear. I think I understand now," he said quietly. "The trials, the challenges, everything. It was to prepare me." She nodded, her eyes reflecting the stars around them. "Yes, human, to prepare you for what is yet to come. The universe is vast, full of wonders and dangers, but those who face it with courage and understanding can endure, and perhaps even change it." He felt a strange sense of peace, mixed with anticipation, knowing that this was only the beginning of his journey. Yet for the first time he did not feel alone. The alien woman, his guide and tester, was beside him, a presence both mysterious and reassuring. And as he floated among the stars, he realized that the trial had taught him more than skill or courage. It had shown him the importance of choice, the weight of action, and the power of understanding. Her eyes met his one last time in the chamber, always watching, always questioning, and he knew that the lessons of the trial would stay with him forever. The resolution. The human floated among the stars, the glow of distant galaxies surrounding him. He felt weightless, yet grounded by the presence of the alien woman beside him. Her violet eyes watched him, calm yet full of meaning, as if she could see every thought inside his mind. You have come far, human, she said softly, her voice carrying across the cosmic expanse. You have faced fear, uncertainty, and the unknown, and yet you stand here, ready to act with understanding and courage. He exhaled slowly, feeling the tension of the trials leave his body. I understand now, he said. The challenges, the visions, the choices, they were all to prepare me for this, to see beyond myself. She nodded slightly, a faint smile appearing on her lips. Yes, human, and now the universe watches, ready to see how you will move forward. For knowledge alone is not enough. Action is required, and your choices will echo farther than you imagine. Suddenly, the stars around them shifted, forming a map of countless worlds, alien civilizations, and paths stretching across the galaxy. He felt a strange pull toward one path, a sense that his next step must be taken with care and courage. You are not alone, human, she said, her voice firm yet gentle. You carry the lessons of this chamber with you, and perhaps one day, the trials you faced here will help not only yourself but others who walk the same path. The choices you make can change more than just your fate. He nodded, feeling a surge of determination. I will not forget what I have learned, he said. I will act wisely, and I will face whatever comes next without hesitation. She extended her hand, and this time he reached out and took it, feeling warmth, trust, and an unspoken understanding pass between them. Good, she said. You have learned the essence of courage, insight, and responsibility. These are the qualities that define not only a survivor, but a hero among your kind. The stars around them began to swirl, forming a gateway of light, an exit from the chamber. Step forward, human, she instructed, and carry what you have learned into the worlds beyond. Let your choices guide you, and let your understanding shape the future. He took a deep breath, feeling the pull of the gateway, and stepped through, the light surrounding him, carrying him forward. Yet even as he moved, he felt her eyes on him, guiding, watching, and supporting, a silent reminder of the lessons he had learned. When he emerged, the alien woman stood before him, fully corporeal now, no longer a guide in a chamber, but a presence of trust and respect. The trials are complete, she said, her voice gentle yet commanding. You have proven yourself worthy, and now the journey truly begins. He looked at her, awe and gratitude mingling with excitement. Thank you, he said simply, for everything, for showing me, for trusting me. She nodded, a quiet approval in her eyes. Human, it is not about gratitude, but understanding, and the willingness to grow. Remember this lesson always, for it will guide you through the challenges that lie ahead. He felt a sense of clarity, of purpose, and for the first time, he truly understood the weight of choice, courage, and insight. His journey with the alien woman was only beginning, but the trials had prepared him for the unknown, and he was ready to face it. And as they stood together gazing at the stars, he realized that the universe was vast, full of wonders and dangers, but he was no longer afraid, for he had learned to see beyond the obvious, to trust in himself and to act with wisdom. The alien woman finally spoke, her voice soft yet filled with meaning. Human, your eyes are no longer searching for answers alone. They are ready to see, to act, and to shape the destiny that awaits. Go forward with courage. And remember the lessons of this chamber. He nodded, a quiet smile on his lips, knowing that this was not the end, but the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Among the stars, guided by insight, courage, and understanding, he was ready to face the unknown. And as the chamber and its trials faded behind him, he felt a deep certainty, a connection to the alien woman, and to the universe itself, that no matter what came next, he would not falter, he would not hesitate, and he would never stop learning.